So I'm just going to just wait a few moments, and then I'm going to be showing you, because as you see I had to do the other side off camera here. So it's going to be a really cool, nice head hugging shape, working with the use of layering and graduation and disconnection. So I'm really looking forward to, taking you through this hairstyle. Something a bit more creative, a bit more fun, with a combination of different cutting techniques and also styling as well. So with this haircut here, so let me take you through first this side here. So for the essence of time, just because I only have a short time here on Hairbrained for this tutorial, I had to do some pre-cutting first. And if you see here, the way I've developed it was really disconnecting the perimeter shape. And if you see here, creating something called a love lock, where, back in the day, the knights, their girlfriends, their wives, they would give a lock of the hair, cut off a piece of the hair and give it to the knight before they went into battle, so they would think about them. So this is kind of like a little romantic feeling here, a love lock. And then of course you see the graduation and layering going into more of a stronger shape upon a shape. So now when we take a look this way, now the way I sectioned it off, if you see, just kind of leaving out the perimeter here, then in the back, I will be using vertical sections, and I will be working with square layering and keeping this a much more flatter shape here. Then, but each section that I do, I'm going to over direct to the previous section, and the hair will be brought straight back. Then I'm going to transform into, especially on the side here in this panel, first I will be using horizontal sections, maybe slightly diagonal to keep a little bit more length towards the front. Then I'm going to be working, I do need to work with the layering because it will have a tendency to be a little bit too heavy. So let me get started with the cutting. But now I'm very excited, I was working on this today and also working with the color as well. Now the hair has been prepped with the Easy Life, which is from 9 Yards, which is a heat defending spray, just because of the delicacy of the color. It's a very delicate color. So I've kind of just been overloading it a little bit, just because, especially when I'm working with the blow dryer and everything, I don't want to lose any color. So that's that's happened to me before doing a live video where I didn't use any heat protection spray, and I just kind of, the color came out of the hair due to the blow dryer. So I will be working with vertical sections. Now just taking a little bit from the other side. Okay. And working over my fingers. So I do apologize, I have to film this today myself. So I will do my best to try and answer any questions you may have. I am a regular educator here at Hairbrained. So my name is Sid Satong, and I am based in Edinburgh, Scotland. Hence probably why this video tutorial is a bit early for some Americans. So I'm originally from America, and I grew up in New York, and but I've been in the UK for about 24, 25 years now. So I'm very, very excited to be here, sharing with you some of my journey here with creativity. So key thing is here, I want to make sure my body position, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to be standing on the left side, and I'm going to be working this up here. So right now, I'm going to really focus on a lot of precision cutting first. If you see, as I'm going up higher, I'm just going to be elevating it up a little bit higher here, due to the fact I don't want to leave too much of a weight line. So I'm now going to continue to my next section here, and you'll see I will be continuing all the way to about behind the ear, and the hair will be brought straight back. not in the middle, because I don't want it to be too heavy on the sides. So really focusing on just kind of working with cleanliness of my sections, and just really making sure that I'm disconnecting the overall perimeter. And you'll see what I do afterwards to try and give an illusion of connection. So working through. But if you do have any questions or comments or wherever you are in the world, please let me know. And yeah, so I am facing the camera so I can see some the comment section. So if you do have any questions, I'm here to help. So I really want the key important factors here in this case. I really want to make sure that I'm not grabbing the underneath where the disconnection is. So I'm going to take a little bit more smaller sections just so I can really see my guide. Making sure. Going through here. I do apologize if you happen to hear a dog bark in the background. I do have a little bit of a little Chihuahua who's 3 years old and who's a bit cheeky and a bit naughty. So, but yeah. So in this case here, I really want to focus on creating. I really in the lines of like mixing more editorial, especially with hair cutting, and so that it kind of comes together in a way. And of course, making sure that there's also the element of hair color as well, because that brings it all to life. So, when we are, like I said, let me just show you the other side of what I'm trying to create. So I did some pre-cutting before. You can see the shape upon a shape, working with various points of disconnection. So I did that before. Now I'm on the opposite side. And I think that's it. That's what I love doing is I love mixing things up. So mixing with, from classic haircuts to having strength, and then also creating that little bit of looseness of texture throughout. Also mix barbering skills with that, and also blow drying and editorial aspect. And of course, we can't forget about the hair color as well. So by having a combination of different things, I do apologize. My Chihuahua just came in the room, so I do apologize if he does bark. So now I don't know if you can see the way the shape is creating there, and I think this is a really great look, especially when I dress it out. I want to give a bit more volume. So if you think about more like the inspiration of more like a 1960s type of fullness here, and then or sleekness. So we have a very classic, almost a Sassoon feel to it, but then you'll see that I'm going to work with a more texturizing on the perimeter, just to give that little bit of a creativity or more of like a modern feel. Now I will continue to the sides. Once again, just still over directing this back, making sure that now I'm trying to keep my body away so you guys can see, so I'm not in the camera at all. Just want to make sure that you guys can see properly. Now, once again, I'm over directing this back, but not to the middle, but just straight back. Now by doing that, I'm able to, one, maintain a little more weight, especially behind the ear, especially with the mastoid process bone area. So what happens is, I really want to try and maintain some length and some weight, especially in this general area, especially when I then go into this panel right here, this quadrant. By doing that, I'm able to control everything. I could then also cross-check. Now, when I cross-check, I'll be going the opposite way, which is more or less horizontal. Now, when I'm checking it, I want to make sure that I'm going to keep my elbow to my rib cage, because I still want to try and more or less trying to keep more of a flatter shape in the back. That's why if my elbow is up, I might have a tendency to round it off, especially if I'm checking inside my fingers. So, going through here. There we go. And you'll see I will be making sure that this is all going to be nice and smooth. Like I said, just to show you the opposite side that I created, I'm going to recreate something very similar on the other side here. And you'll see that because I want to keep some length, so my shape here will be slightly triangular, which is meaning shorter in the back, going longer in the front. So I will be doing that perimeter, the internal perimeter first, then I'm going to be going into the internal layering afterwards. So I just need to make sure it's all wet, and then also I want to create something a bit more interesting with the fringe, something a bit more styled in a way, a bit more editorial. So I think that's one of the key important factors is that when I need to, as a barber or a hairdresser, you know, as we develop or as we get older in our career, we need to be able to try different things, you know, and that's why I love using mannequins. They don't talk so much. They always show up on time for their appointments, you know. But I think one of the key important factors is that that one of the things is that I need to practice. Okay, you know, I need to practice so much, especially because with my training, so I'm a full-time educator or a freelance educator. So I travel. I travel around the world. I work with product companies, do hair shows, barber shows, and that's why I love to be able to spend my time here on Hairbrained to be able to share my ideas, my concepts to all of you. And then, because then what happens is it gives me a chance to be able to cut hair and to color hair or to style hair. So I think it gives myself time to do what I love doing. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a shape upon shape here. So I'm just seeing how that's coming along here. Yep, there we go. I'm just going to be taking another section. Just going to be splitting this up here. Just pushing this off to the side. Now, I'm still going to have a very light bit of elevation here, just for when that's why I'm using my fingers instead of holding it down with my comb. The reason why is the hair on the mannequin is a little more thicker, and I don't want it to be, I don't know, kind of like a carpet. I don't want it to be too heavy. So that's why I am just going to be slowly elevating it a little bit into my fingers. Then I'm going to just continue taking this down. I do need to, I'm going to remove that clip here. Here we go. So I'm going to be combing this straight over. But once again, if you do have any questions regarding with what I'm doing, please let me know in the comments section. Even though I don't have a camera person with me today, I will be able to answer anything. Or I can also answer even after the video as well. So especially if it's more of a technical question. Okay. Now, what I'm going to be then doing is, so I've created overall that panel, which is the shape upon and dropping out that disconnection. I'm just going to be lowering this. Now, in this case here, so what I would like to do, I would like to take sections across the head like so, and then I'm going to be working with layering. Now, by doing that, I just want this, I still want to be able to control my overall shape. I'm going to be elevating this up higher. I will make sure that I'm going to be standing behind. Yeah, so I really want to be able to kind of control, really just kind of see how the shape is developing now. So I'm going to work around, I'm going to work all the way I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be working across and going all the way forward, and I will be over directing the hair back. So I will show you, I'll try and show you from different angles as well with what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm just still focusing on precision cutting at the moment. Then I will be, there's so many things that, you know, I need to kind of just keep in mind here. One, also just by tilting the head, you know, to help me with my over direction back, I'm just going to slightly tilt the mannequin's head or the client's head, tilt the chin up. And that will help me create a little bit more extra, it'll be easier for my over direction. So, but for myself, I mean, it's, I absolutely love doing what I do, and it's just, you know, to be able to share with others, you know, some part of my journey here with this, with, you know, kind of playing around with hair cutting and creativity and color, you know, that's one of the key important factors, you know, it's like, I just love, I love what I do and be able to share, you know, my thought about it. You know, once again, I am not the world's best barber or hairdresser or educator, but I will try my best here. So, yeah, so I'm going to work this back still, and it's not going to be a lot that I'll be taking off at this stage here. You know, the reason why is because ideally, fundamentally, it's just that there was kind of like an old, like fringe bang area here. So I think what happened was I was testing some camera equipment, and I was playing around, and I kind of cut a little bit of like a fringe bang area into this. So there we go. There we go. So, the question is this cut good for thin hair? Now, ideally, okay, now the thing is, there's different level of fineness to the hair and so forth. So, ideally, I probably wouldn't say my first reaction is, if it's super fine, I wouldn't recommend it if it's thin hair. I would actually recommend maybe losing the perimeter and having a strong outline, and then really work that graduation, because graduation will create width to the hair. So if you can kind of see, I'm still keeping, I'm going to work that shape in there. You'll see what I'm going to be doing, just so it doesn't look, it's going to be a bit more sort of blended into. But that's the reason why I'm not going to necessarily recommend this for thin hair just yet, because I think even though you see I'm creating that body, like I said, there's different levels of fineness to the hair, so I would recommend maybe assessing and analyze how you're working with your guests or your clients to see if this type of look would be suitable for them. So hopefully that answers your question there, Gene, Jimmy, Neuron. Now, what I'm actually going to be doing here, so in this case, for the area here, now I will be kind of picking this out here. Just kind of lifting this away. And I will be kind of working, still maintaining, here we go, still maintaining, taking that weight off, but able to remove, you know, that weight, but maintain some length. So I'm going to just kind of leave certain areas out. Now I'm going to continue, still taking, now my sections, they will be slightly vertical, diagonal. The reason why is because what I'm trying to create or deliver is that I still want that feeling of maintaining some length, but also directing it. I kind of want to be able to direct it, you know, going that way. Just give a bit more of a softness to it. So that's why I'm using those type of sections. I'm going through here, so like I said, I still want to maintain I'm going to still keep some length, playing around. And you'll see I will be sculpting out a little bit later on as well. Once again, my name is Sid Saltung, and what I'm doing is just having a bit more fun with creativity. So if you can see, I'm kind of creating a shape upon a shape, you know, kind of like two haircuts in one. You know, you can maybe have a variation of a mullet or anything. So I'm just having a bit of fun tonight. Well, it's almost 7:30 here in Edinburgh, Scotland. So I know it's probably quite early in the West Coast in California. So, but yeah, so I'm here tonight just kind of showcasing some of the things that I'm into with my creative journey. So and be able to share with you some knowledge and the way I approach the haircut, and yeah, just having that bit of fun with hair. So you see, I'm just going to be kicking this out, and just like I said, just dropping some hair. There we go. And you'll see that during the haircut procedure, I will be developing it and kind of, you know, playing around with the sculpting aspect, especially when it's dry. I do want to be able to almost, when I go through the haircut, you'll see, that's when I add some of my barbering skills in there, meaning, especially I like to refine the haircut after it's all dry and, you know, really do a lot more kind of like finessing in a way. Now, you can kind of see the way the haircut is coming out. Once again, you know, cross-checking the haircut, having that bit of fun, you know, and just seeing how that haircut develops. One of the hardest things, I think, for me, for this type of style is actually, believe it or not, the blow dry. Because what happens is it's to try and work with a certain shorter panels in areas. That's usually the case. So just to help get that more of a smooth finish to the hair. But you'll see, I'm also going to be working with the 9 Yards products, which is a Swedish brand, which is vegan, sustainability. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. And it was just launched in the UK, maybe just a couple years ago. And so we're able to now, you know, especially for myself, working with the brand, I'm kind of like just having a lot more fun and experimenting, you know, with the products and from extra styling. So yeah, so a bit more of like an editorial flair to it. Now, can I do this haircut with just using a hair cutting razor? Yes, I can. You know, so there's many different ways to approach this. This is just one way for myself that I like to go over. But the choice is yours, and that's the beautiful thing about hair cutting, that we, you know, when we approach, there's no right or wrong way, you know, because we're artists, you know, all artists are different, you know. We have artists in America, all around the world, you know. And so for myself is one of the, you know, key important factors is, you know, have fun, experiment, you know, have fun with your hair cutting. So now I'm just going back over, kind of just seeing how this shape develops. If you see in this general area, now even though I'm working inside my fingers here, I will be slowly just kind of picking this up a tiny bit. But you see, just dropping out that perimeter. So yeah, so you can kind of see the way it's expanding and kind of working into that nape area. So I think one of the key important factors is just remember, depending on how extreme you might have the overall feeling. So it's what's great about it is that, you know, always feel the contour of your client's or your guest's nape area or the skull shape, because that might actually be a bit more intense, a bit more flatter, and so forth. So yeah. Great to see you, Kenny, again. Thank you very much. I hope you'll enjoy tonight's little live video tutorial. So I'm just having a bit of fun here, kind of playing around with a shape upon a shape. And by keeping, you know, something a bit more creative, and then the way I will be dressing it. So if we see on the opposite side, kind of like the way I was creating this, and then having that bit of fun. So let me know in the comment section, guys, what you guys think so far, and also if you like the way the color looks. You know, please let me know. Also in the comment section, I also put as a gift for watching this tutorial. You're also able. I'm also launching my new creative cutting online tutorial program. Now, there's over 12 hours of pre-recorded footage, and there's a link in the comment section that you'll receive 30% off, and it's being launched June 19th. So I'm very excited. I have to do a lot of editing tonight, so I have a lot of stuff to do to prepare for it, but please, you know, that is my gift to you. So you can sign up to our waiting list, and yeah, so, and it's both, and the haircuts are both on men and women as well, and also a little bit of styling as well. So from live models, mannequins, from Pivot Point, so yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to continue here, just also dropping this out here. Then let's take a look at how this is forming here. Now, I would like to, I do want to kind of keep, so I will keep some of this here. So I will, what I'm going to do, just to help with timing, I will be cutting some of this off here. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep that little bit of like a flick to the hair. So I can still see that shape upon shape. And yeah, so then we just push this down. And I will be wanting to, I will be refining this when it's all dry as well. So like I said, I will be drying this. And I do feel I'm one of those like hairdressers or barbers that I like to do a lot of work on dry hair, just because I feel like more in touch with the fabric of the hair and the shape, and I feel like more like a sculptor. So you'll see, you know, I'll, first try and put a precision shape in first, and then when the hair is all dry, I will then go back over it. So yeah, just going back over. Just I kind of want to keep. I'm just having a bit of fun with the creativity aspect. So, but yeah. So please let me know in the comment section if you're enjoying what you're seeing, or if you have any questions. Now, even in the front here, I just have this bit of going through. I kind of like that little wave here. So, but what I'm now going to do, so at this point here, I'm actually going to be, I need to blow dry this here. And so I will be putting suitable product that's going to be, going to protect it. And also I need to protect the color too. I don't want what happened to me last time. I didn't put a heat protecting spray in there and it kind of burnt off some of the color. Because this is a bit more like a delicate color. So a bit more like a lilac. But yeah, so let me just once again, so for anyone joining us, if you could see the shape I was creating. So I did in the back panel here, I was working with vertical sections, keeping it square. But as you can see, I disconnected the perimeter. Then on this side here, that's the pre-done side, I was working with horizontal sections here, working with the graduation. I was keeping it a bit low, and then working up, creating that layering here throughout here. And then if you see here, then in the back here, just kind of connecting it, a bit more softer blend to try and maintain some of the internal graduation going into the overall length. So I will, of course, I'm going to refine everything when it's all completely dry, but I really need to make sure that, you know, when I blow dry it, so first I'm going to be using, they're called vest brushes, which are flat brushes from Japan. And so the first one I'm going to be using, this is like a 7 row, so it's like smaller. I've learned my lesson because with the shorter hair, I use a smaller brush. Longer hair, I use a larger one, and this is a 9 row. So, yeah, so what will happen there, Kenny, so since I'm working with more of like, I wanted to kind of dress it a little bit more of a severe parting. So in that case, that's why I took it back towards the middle. So by having a slightly diagonal parting, what will happen is it will then end up being balanced in the back. If I just took it straight, what would happen is it would be off balance in the back because the hair from the crown would be falling over. So just by taking it slightly curved or angled with your parting, and that's going to help out keeping the balance correct in the back. So hopefully that answered your question there, Kenny. So it's great to see you there. So I just need to put just sort of, so I'm going to be using multiple products here. So this is the, it's called Hair Down, which is the anti-frizz cream from 9 Yards. So if you see here, so this is a beautiful product range from Sweden. It's vegan, it's all, it's great sustainability. It's got that Scandinavian flair to the hair. It's absolutely brilliant and it smells lovely. But I think the key thing is because of the way what happens is the way this hair is, you know, it was blonde originally, and so I think one of the key important factors is it's like it still feels like it's like bleached feeling, you know, and so what happens is it's I gotta treat it with respect in a way. So I do have to treat it with respect. So for when I am blow drying it, I'm just I need lots of product. But the only thing is, one of the key things, just remember, you know, so I put the cream first, then I'm now going to be using the Easy Life spray. Now with this spray, what will happen is, so the reason why I'm putting, this is like water-based, like spray, so this is why I'm putting it after, so then it can really help, I can comb the rest of the product, the cream-based product, throughout the hair properly. So, now, I'm going to remove my nozzle off first, just because I don't need to smooth it out just yet. I will be putting it back on later, and then even in the front area, I'm going to put, with the fringe area or the bangs, I'm going to have like a nice little flick, I think. You know, I'm going to play around, and that's why I'm going to be using my round brush for that, and also my nozzle. So at this point here, I just kind of like want to have a wrap drawing motion where what will happen is I'm just going to be moving this around. The brush will be following the head like a roller. So I'm just going to be hopefully smoothing out like that. So. And once again, so my name is, hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. My name is Sid Salto, and I am filming this in Edinburgh, Scotland, and it is now 7:35 p.m. So please, once again, if you have any questions that you might have, please, I am filming this myself, but once again, I am here to, I'll do my best to try and answer any questions you might have. So I'm working a bit more a creative shape here. It's a shape upon a shape, so it's almost like 2 haircuts in one. And just to really kind of give that bit more like more creative, like editorial feeling to the hair. I'm just having a bit more fun with it, moving this hair around. Now you'll see I can also use a pair of straightening irons, which is to help smooth it out. I will be using a round brush as well, and and then also I'll be perfecting the haircut afterwards. So there's a lot of things I still need to do, so I'm not worried. But it's just want to make sure that I'm still in my allocated time slot here on Hairbrained. So I am a regular educator here, so I try and do live video tutorials as much as I can for Hairbrained, and they're always free because Hairbrained believes in helping hairdressers. So it's absolutely amazing. So I've been kind of doing these live video tutorials. I think probably. Well, I've been doing them a lot more regular now, but I've been doing them for about 5 years, I believe. So I've been trying. I've known Hairbrained for a very long time, and I absolutely love what Gerard and Randy are doing to the industry. And it's also great to be able to connect with my fellow Americans, even though I live in the UK. So hopefully you can see that okay. So once again, so I'm now going to be taking sections just to smooth it out. And you'll see I can also work with I'm also going to be just taking sections here, just because of the shorter area. Wrapping it, pulling back and forth. But you can also see on my Instagram as well, we also have the link. So there is a link in the comment section. My new creative online cutting course is coming out June 19th. So there's over 12 hours of footage, also from men's cutting, women's cutting. So yeah, I'm very excited. Also working with curly hair and also African Caribbean texture as well. So, and the good thing is, it's pre-recorded, so you can watch whenever you want, wherever you want. So you can do it off a laptop, a tablet, or your phone as well. Yeah. Once again, I will be working with the straightening irons as well, just to smooth it out. I'm now going to go into my 9-row vest brush. And first, just wrap drying it. Just take a lot of the water out first. And then I will be going into my round brush for that little, and then I'll put my nozzle back on the blow dryer as well. So the blow dryer I'm using it's actually a Danish brand, and it's called Park. And I absolutely love it. It's a bit like very very technology minded here. It also has a self-cleaning mode where it it turns itself on to clean out the filter, which is a bit strange at first, but I actually really love it. So yeah, so I was just in Norway teaching, and they gave it to me as a gift, so I'm very grateful for it. So I needed a new blow dryer. Now, like I said, I'm working a shape upon a shape, really kind of focusing on more or less. I want to create a bit more creativity. And, I want to have fun here. I want to, I think with hair cutting, really just having a lot more fun, especially if you get a chance with a mannequin. The mannequins that, I normally use are Pivot Point. And I absolutely love them, especially come in all different types of textures. The faces are a bit more realistic to maybe compared to some other brands. They're not as scary. And so yeah, so I use them a lot myself, Once again, I will be smoothing this out, you know, not to worry. I'm just trying to get a lot of water out first. So I'm going to just increase the temperature, or increase the speed. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay still. So if you have any questions in a moment, when I'm done drying, I'll be able to answer them. Then just turn this around. So then I will be working still with diagonal sections, especially when I'm blow drying. I really do want to smooth it out, work, you know, a nicer shape. I'm just going to lower this a tiny bit here. And really just want to make sure that, you know, I could, you know, just see how my haircut's coming out. Now, turning on the irons, and then I think, you know, what's great about this is I'm going to create a nice slit here because I really want to bring the wave back. So, okay, just lifting it just to get some of the water out. Try not to do that to your client. Moving this around. Elevating it up higher. And then what I'm now going to do, I'm now going to be putting the nozzle back on, and then I'm also going to be using a round brush. And in the front, I kind of just want that little bit more of like an editorial flick to the hair, especially in this area. So, and then you'll see that I'm going to be ironing that rest of the hair. So in this area, I just want that little bit of a flick. So. So now I'm going to just go back over with the irons, and just to really help. I'm going to be working with the irons now, just to really help and see how that shape is. So yeah, it does a self-cleaning. It turns itself on. So it does take some time to get used to that. So now what I'm going to do is I've already just adding that little bit of product. Now I will be using the straightening irons, and because I really just want to, you know, give that really editorial finish going throughout here. And then you'll see the way I'm going to be creating that overall feeling to the hair. You know, so meaning I will be perfecting it, kind of breaking into it. So, just want to have, like I said, tonight, just having that bit of fun to the hair. You know, I think as hairdressers, you know, just we need to have fun with hair. You know, that bit of creativity, that bit of excitement. You know, it just keeps us going in a way. So, okay, I'm just going to move this around. Here we go. Like I said, just want to just smooth out the ends. Nothing crazy. It's just that so I can go back over when I'm doing my hair cutting. And then you see the way I'm going to be dressing this afterwards. So just a bit more fun. Just a bit more excitement to the hair. You know, to styling hair, you know. And that's the thing is, so that, you know, even after I finish this video, I'm going to be still playing around with, you know, going over, and just having that bit of fun to the hair. So I think that's, one of the key important factors, you know, that we do as hairdressers. So I'm just going to use a little no crease clip here, just to kind of get that out of the way. And you see, it also gives like a nice little 20s feeling to the hair. And back over. Like I said, I just want to kind of smooth this out here. I'm also just, while that's drying, I'm just going to put a little spray there, a little hairspray, just to kind of help with the styling or setting the hair. So I'm going to continue working with the irons. So I'm just trying to do this a little bit more quicker for everyone, so you don't, I don't want you guys, when you see the kind of finished result. Once again, I'm kind of just smoothing that out at this point just because, to help make it easier for my cutting. So that's the reason why. So I will be going back over it. Just kind of just seeing the way how it's falling. There we go. So now I'm just going to be working with a bit of slicing into the overall length here. Kind of want to break into, I don't want it to be too solid looking. So that's why I'm going to be just working with a bit of slicing into that overall shape, into the length. Okay. This also kind of gives like a little more of like a PC feel as well. Now, as well, I'm going to be going back over, working with the layering. I need to kind of I just want to soften the edges there. So by working with point cutting, making sure my blades are going vertical, because I just want to take length off, I want to take weight off only. back over. And then I can also as well go back over that perimeter shape. So this is just like a fun way of like having some length in the perimeter, and yeah, so. But I think as well, it's, you know, when we are, you know, experimenting with haircutting, you know, especially with your clients or your guests, you know, like I said, start off on a mannequin first, have a bit of fun, you know, just, you know, especially when you are kind of coming up with some new ideas or some, you know, some techniques that you've always wanted to try on a mannequin first, you know. It's a great way to just explore, have fun, you know, and then especially it'll build up your confidence. So, Joanne, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's I think sometimes with what happens when you do things creatively, sometimes it's like it's not everyone's cup of tea. So, but thank you very much. That means the world to me, Joanne. So, I think one of the things is like when we are working with creativity, everything is based on classic form, where and how you deliver it and place it. That's where the creativity comes about. So, so I think especially in this case, I really just want to be able to kind of, you know, just have fun with, you know, with haircutting. And I think that's one of the, because even though when I used to work in a salon, you know, it's so easy to like, you know, we get into, you know, what happens is, so we do, you know, sometimes we're just doing long hair, loose layers, side fringe either way, and a bit of a blow dry or an iron. And I think that's one of the things, it's, I think what happens is, it's like we kind of then lose the element of, you know, sometimes it's like exploring different options with hair. So, and that's why, like, you know, I'm a big believer in mannequins now. When I was in my early years of hairdressing and barbering, oh, I bloody hated them. You know, they smelled funny. You know, they were hard to section because of the stitching and so forth. But now I absolutely love them because it's just, I think for myself, it's just kind of like so much easier to be able to work with now, and I could do whatever I want, and the quality is much better now. So, there we go. But yeah, so it's I think you kind of see the way the shape's developing. So I'm going to continue with this, continue with the shape. You know, you can, like I said, you could have used a razor as well. The choice is yours. I'm not going to lie to you. My razor isn't over here, so it was in my bag. I didn't want to have to go and get it. Hence why I'm just doing everything with scissors. I will be using my texturizing scissors. Now these actually have a dial on them, so you can remove 10, 20, or 30% of hair off. So it's got this little dial on, which is quite cool. I think it's quite cool. So I use those more or less, not to add texture, but just to take that little existing weight off. But I'm not going to lose kind of like, sort of like the overall shape. So I'm not going to bash them, you know, so much. But it's just a great way of like, of just kind of maintaining some, the feeling with it, the, you know, the overall essence of the haircut. So that's why I'm going to be using those. So, speaking of which, I'm going to use them now. And like I said, I'm just going to be using them more or less in kind of this area here. Just to kind of like help soften that a little bit. And then I'm going to be using my trimmer just to, you know, because to save on timing. Normally I would do it with scissors, but I'm going to be using my trimmer there just to kind of like, just to refine the perimeter. So, Yeah, no, I think I'm quite digging this at the moment. Like I said, you know, as we will always be our own worst critics, it's something that I would actually, you know, would really want to spend hours on end, and you know, just to perfect everything. But I think overall, I'm quite pleased, especially in this time frame, and also explaining everything I'm doing. I think I'm getting pretty happy with it. So now I'm just going to be using my trimmers just for the perimeter or the outline. I need to make sure that the overall long hair or the little strands of long hair is kept safe. So I just use the clip just to clip it out of the way. And you can also, I'm just going to use this just to kind of scoop some of this area out here. I'm using my Andis trimmer. I absolutely love it. Okay, and the finishing touches, just to show you everything that I was doing. Now, just to kind of like still keeping, I'm going to still break into that there a little bit. Here we go. So kind of just, you know, using, and also just working with a bit of slicing into that, just to kind of piece this out a little bit here. You know, something, it's almost like a little Japanime type of feeling to the hair. And then, like you can see now, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of teasing it, pushing it up a little bit, and I can see that it's still, it's kind of collapsing. What that means is, that means the hair's too heavy. So if it doesn't stay up, that means you're probably going to need to take some more weight off, especially if you want it to be able to stay up. So now just in this area here, I do feel that's just a little bit more. And just get this. So just by using a little bit of hairspray just to get that. So I'm totally, if you saw all the cables around me, it's definitely, the state board wouldn't be happy. So in this case here, I can also just work a bit of freehand, just to be able to help take that added weight off, and just to help give that bit of like texture there. If you see, I want to kind of just sort of rest this outwards. So I kind of want like a little, yeah, I think if anything, more Japanime type of image, like that Japanese cartoon feeling. Yeah, just something just again a bit more aggressive. And then, so as I'm finishing up here because of the timing, I will now, I'm just going to be playing around with some of the styling, and then yeah, and then I'll do a bit of a recap. So right now I'm just using the Olplay, which is from 9 Yards, which is like a very flexible hairspray, but I kind of like it as like, I call it like a building hairspray, meaning I can build up the shape to it, some texture, at the same time. If I spray enough, it's going to have much more stronger hold. So it's quite universal in a way. And this is from a brand called 9 Yards from Sweden. So now I'm just going to be using kind of like that little flick there that's happening. I'm just having that bit of fun, a bit of editorial feeling to the hair, and you know, just I think it's more about just having fun with hair, you know, and kind of like I said, more of that Japanime type of influence, that Japanese cartoon influence there. But I still kept length, so.